Okay. Good evening. The time is now 6:03 p.m. and I call this regular meeting of the Freeport Economic Development Corporation to order. And David, can you do our pledge? And Ken, can you do our invocation, please? The invocation.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice.
Father in heaven, we come to you before this evening, thanking you for the blessings you have given us. We ask for guidance in our meeting tonight and to fill us with wisdom. Help us to be faithful in our service to you and to our community. Father, as I close, you say in your word that you promise us that we will have trials and tribulations, and you also promise us that you'll always be there with us through them. And we lift up all the people affected in the fire in California. A lot of broken hearts, homes gone, and lives are just shattered. Just put your arms around them and guide us, Lord. Thank you again for everything you've done for us, and we ask this in your name. Amen.
All right. Thank you, David. Thank you, Ken. That takes us to citizen comments. And do we have any? Okay. Seeing none, we'll go ahead and move on to our consent agenda. And I'll give everyone a second to look at the meeting minutes from our last meeting.
I have one thing on that. Down here, paragraph 4, page 5, says David McGinty expressed support for the proposed work, but highlighted the importance of fully rehabilitating the Skinner Street property, and that should read Western Seafood.
Okay. Did y'all get that?
Beyond that, I'm good.
See that page again?
It's page 5, paragraph 4 on the printed version.
Thank you.
All right. Were there any other corrections to the minutes?
I make a motion to accept them as,
Oh, no, we can't. Yeah.
not yet. I can't.
All right. But we'll go ahead and move on to our financials.
Hello.
Good evening.
The attached financial report is through December 31st of 2024. Sales tax was received in December 2024 for October of 2024. The EDC received $87,746, which is a decrease when compared to this month last year. Currently, the EDC has received $5,754 less in sales tax when compared to the same time period last fiscal year. As of December 31st, the revenues were over expenditures by $9,620 in the EDC fund. The fund balance in the projects fund at December 31st was $822,499. And the fund balance in the EDC marketing account as of December 31st was $126,560. And the fund balance as of December 31st in the TERS fund was $766,519.
Mr. President,
Yes, sir.
I would note in the agenda to item memorandum, just a housekeeping item, we'll fix the errand 3 in the 5,754.
Okay.
Yes,
Thank
sorry.
you. And did anyone on the board have any questions?
Does this one have what our tax revenue was for 2024? Is that what it was? 1,600,000? 1,250,000?
The what revenue? I'm sorry.
So was that our budget, 1,250,000, and we made
Yes.
1,003,000, so we actually made more for the year?
Yes, ma'am.
So will it be even a little higher because this was only, I think, up until October? So it'll be
Yeah.
higher. So we're doing pretty good then?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, seeing no other questions, we'll go ahead and go to our quarterly investment report.
So we're gonna have to table that until
Oh, yes,
next
ma'am.
month. The text pool statement didn't get here in time, so I couldn't finish it. But
Okay,
it'll be
yes,
ready
ma'am.
next month.
Thank you for letting us know. And then I'll go ahead and entertain a motion. Is there a motion to approve our consent agenda?
I'll make the motion to approve.
So we have a motion. Is there a second?
Sure.
All right, motion by Ken to approve our consent agenda, seconded by David. All those, any debate or discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor state aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed,
Aye.
state nay. Motion passed unanimously. We'll go ahead and move on to our discussion and action items. And underneath that, we have number 1, discuss and take action on the revised bank and text pool account signatures. Yes, ma'am.
Well, I told y'all last month it was coming. It's just the name change, and then on the text pool account, it's actually adding me to the account. We started the process, I believe, at the November meeting, and we were missing one signature on that form, so it didn't get completed. So the forms tonight would be both of the city Texas Gulf Bank accounts, not the city, sorry, the EDC, and then the text pool account.
Yes, ma'am. So, Robert, we just have paperwork to sign. Is that, we're gonna do that right now?
This is just paperwork.
Okay.
We've got that paperwork here tonight before we leave.
Oh, just before we leave? Okay.
We could sign it. We were anticipating you'll approve it.
Okay. And so we just have to approve her being added, yes?
Yes,
Okay.
that's correct.
Yes, yes.
So the motion would be, like, if you would make a motion to just approve her being added or to add her? Does that make sense?
To add her.
To add her? Oh, okay. I don't know if we, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I know.
That's a good question.
Okay. All right, so would anybody like to make a motion to add Ms. Ashley Hurst to our text pool account
I make a motion for her to be added to the text pool
and our bank?
and to the account,
Sorry.
Texas Gulf Bank.
And I'll second that.
All right, so we have a motion to add Ashley Hurst to our bank and text pool account signatures. And seconded by Ronnie. Any debate or discussion? All right, seeing none, all those in favor state aye.
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 All opposed state nay. Motion passed unanimously.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, so we'll go ahead and move on to number 2. Discuss and review downtown and Main Street updates for December.
All right, good evening, Freeport EDC. I hope each of you had a great holiday season. I'm happy to share that Main Street Freeport has started 2025 off on the right foot, and I wanted to share some updates. So for the last few months, myself, Robert, Rachel, Shelby Arujo with Code have met bi-weekly to discuss, identify, and tackle key issues and strategies to push historic downtown Freeport forward. These meetings have been extremely beneficial, not only for myself, but also in the fact that we have these 3 entities communicating and working together to reach the same goal. Together, we're identifying investment and reinvestment opportunities and studying the city's codes and ordinances, such as our historic preservation ordinances, to propel historic downtown Freeport. We have a long road to travel, but we're taking incremental steps in the right direction. In December, Main Street Freeport and Freeport City Council passed its bylaws and is preparing to split the Historic Commission from the Main Street Board. During the last quarter of 2024, downtown Freeport saw $100,000 of investment, over $26,000 of which came from grant opportunities through the Freeport Economic Development Corporation. So I want to thank each of you tonight for helping make that happen. Go visit Sweet Teas and Ocean Mart, and you'll see those dollars have been well spent. That money goes a long way, not only for the individual business and property owners, but for our historic downtown as well. I am thankful that your business improvement grant prioritizes downtown Freeport because there really is so much potential. On another topic, while I was road tripping through Tennessee and North Carolina for Christmas, I visited downtown Mooresville, North Carolina, who are also a part of the Main Street program. Their vacant properties had window graphics that advertised their spaces as well as that location's history. Yesterday, I attended a Main Street meeting hosted by the Texas Main Street program, who touched on this very topic of filling windows and entrances of vacant properties with historical and advertising information. The purpose of this is to give visitors and potential clients a sense of space and advertises the downtown space that, although it is vacant, it is active. We want businesses here. So I wanted to pass along that information to you, thinking I might be helpful for the downtown EDC properties. If any of you would like to visit the Freeport Historical Museum, I did the same with our windows and doors. And I am coming up with a plan to pursue this with other vacant property owners. Despite the building vacancy, each building has a story to tell. Additionally, Main Street Freeport typically meets every third Thursday of the month. The Main Street Board also consists of 4 subcommittees, which include design, organization, promotion, and economic vitality. If EDC board members are interested in joining a subcommittee and getting involved, please do not hesitate to reach out. Finally, I just want to thank you all again. With everything going on in and around Freeport, I see a lot of genuine enthusiasm, and there's a great deal of momentum right now for us to hold on to and push forward. So thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. Did anybody have any questions? All right. See. Thank you.
All right.
Thanks
Good night,
again.
guys.
I'll just add
Mhm.
one thing. I go to all the Main Street meetings, and they had talked about enacting the plan for, everybody's still digesting the UTSA plan, and they're gonna start talking about it on next month. And at some point, it's been discussed that there will be a joint meeting so that we can talk about how best to enact the plan and move forward. And as Wade just said, they encouraged any EDC board members that want to be on a Main Street subcommittee, of which there are 4, to let Wade know, and they'd invite you to participate.
Thank you for the information.
I'm already on one. I'm already on one.
Oh, yes, you are.
Yes, I am.
If we ever have a meeting, if we ever have a meeting, I am on one.
All right, we'll go ahead and move on to number 3. Discuss and take possible action on Freeport EDC property maintenance.
Yes, Mr. President. Last month, we had an estimate from our regular lawn service at Ease Services, and it was afterwards. I had a couple comments. One of I don't think it's any problem that Lance had talked to me about. Hey, those are a little high. So we got some more estimates. One of them, Land and Trees, I believe it's called, is just for the 2 down trees, but the other one is for a more full scope of work. And we wanted to see if we can bring that price down. We did get an estimate from Mr. Campbell that is lower, and we'd like the board to consider that.
Say, what is the Landon one? I didn't see that.
Oh, the Land and Trees should be.
Okay, I see their business card. But I don't see where what their bid is.
hold on one second. Rachel's working on getting that file, but
Okay.
I'll say this, the Landon trees was just for the two fallen trees, so I wasn't really, I mean, that's not the full cleanup, but being that he came out and gave an estimate for them, you know, it was just for those two trees, so it's the least significant of the three. I mean, if we just want to do the trees, we can pull that up, but he's not doing any of the other stuff.
Okay.
How much was the estimate from him?
Rachel's going to it.
Oh,
We-
okay.
Somehow it got omitted from going in here,
Oh,
but
okay.
The one that's a particular problem with the code office is the one on Oak. So I feel that's the one that we really need to concentrate on, is that particular one.
right, and I met with, if you recall, were you at that meeting? Or did
Yes.
you Yeah, and we met with the lieutenant.
Right.
And, you know, Bob had given us a citation, and the lieutenant said, hold on, let's, you know, and we were all working together, and I said, we're gonna do cleanup work in the fall, or excuse me, in the dormant season, which we're in, and, yeah, so we do need to get it cleaned up, but it's not as pressing as before.
Right, okay.
And I have updated the lieutenant on where we are in this. He's
Okay.
fully aware. Unfortunately, she can't find it.
So I guess we'll just table it until,
We can table it until next month. Although,
or if she, if she comes across it, we can just,
back.
come back to the
Yeah.
thing, okay.
Don't table it, just take no action on it.
okay, yeah.
Okay.
So we'll just take no action there. And
So if we take no action on it, is the window still open for anybody to
To bid,
bid?
yes.
Okay,
Yes.
good deal.
And if we find it,
Yeah, we can just come
we
back.
can come back to it
Right.
tonight, right? Okay.
Yes.
Because again, I want to emphasize, it was just for two trees. It wasn't for the full scope of work like the others.
Well, on the full scope of work, I think we're kind of spinning our wheels inside the Western Seafood property, because there's a whole lot of scope of work to be done
Right.
there. And so, to me, it would be kind of, you would have to come back to it and spend more money,
Right.
so.
And I mean, it really needs to be discussed, because we were talking about pipes and,
Right.
you know, and you know, cutting pipes, I don't know if that's a great idea. I mean,
Yeah.
again, we'd have to have a fulsome
Yeah,
discussion
we'd have to
on
get
it,
with the
but,
fire marshal and all that,
Right.
because when they cut those pipes across the street to put Jeff's little deck up, if we want to call it that, there was something leaked out of those pipes.
yeah.
So,
My position would be to leave the
Right.
pipes
Yeah.
alone.
But when I
Unintended
talked to,
consequences.
I sent an email to Chris Duncan on the issue, and he said that those tanks were fully inspected or
remember him saying that.
mitigated or something, but I don't know that for sure.
Right, I don't have any paperwork on that, nor do I have anything that says it's okay to cut the pipes.
Right, okay. 'Cause that's an environmental issue.
Yeah, very much so.
Okay, that's
Well-
all for me.
Yeah. We'll go ahead and go to number 4, for the business improvement grant, discussion and possible action for the business improvement grant for Sit and Bull.
Yes, Mr.
Hello, good
President,
evening.
tonight we have Lorinda, help me with your last name again. Albuquerque, yes, thank you. I'll say, this one took some extra doing, and I'd like to thank Lorinda and Shelby. Unfortunately, Jason, our fire marshal, his mother passed away.
Oh, no.
And so he was not there last week, but he has come in and we've gotten him to review. So if you look in your packet, one permit for the fire equipment is missing. But we have that. I have it if you want to see a copy. I think we've got 10 printed out if you absolutely want to see it. It's just a permit. But that is accomplished, and Jason is fully aware, Jason Schaefer, the fire marshal, is fully aware of this, and it's just like Miss Lounge. If the board does approve this project, no reimbursement would happen until after the fire marshal inspects it and signs off on it.
Okay.
With that, Lorinda.
Everything was moving forward pretty good in the remodel of my business, because it was the one hit by Beryl last year where I had to come before you for the roof.
Yes, ma'am.
And I got hit with the fire suppression, which really took the wind out of my sails, because it wasn't something that I was planning on. Robert and I, we come in on the 11th hour. I was given a quote on Tuesday for it, and from Tuesday up until today, we come in with all of the stuff needed to get it done, from the quote to the permits to the whatever the fire marshal needed, which he wasn't here through any of this. We had to kind of go, okay, will this work? Trying to talk to the chief to find out if these were all the things that we needed to get this moved forward. This wasn't a expense that I had planned for, so I kind of had to rob Peter to pay Paul kind of situation to get this through. So she came down and gave me the paperwork. I was kind of deflated, like, can I get this done? And so through talking with them this week, it's kind of like giving me a little bit of hope of moving forward and being able to get this done, just to move forward to get open, because that's ultimately what I want to do, is to get open. So
Yes, ma'am.
And if you could tell us why the fire suppression system is now required?
I've had to put in all new electrical, new plumbing, new all of that, which has required me to be up to code for everything. I've had to be ADA compliant, and the fire suppression, all of the occupancy has changed for the inside of the building. It's now falls under the new rules of occupancy, and it's pretty much doubled my occupancy from what was there before. So under my old occupancy, I wouldn't have needed the fire suppression, but with the new occupancy rules that I'm falling under now, I'm required to have it. I didn't fall under the 99 people required. I'm at 199 is what my building is now at. So I have to get it done. Yeah.
Can you explain that to us, this 99 people? Are you expecting more than 99 people in that place?
Yes, so before, when I first opened, I'm not expecting more, but it doesn't matter, the expectation. Mr. Schaefer explained to us that it's how many the building can hold. It's not how many I anticipate holding. It has to fall under what he puts as my occupancy and what could possibly be held. It has to be in there for that. I was at 72 before, and how they measured for it before was just inside space. They didn't count any of the rooms. Well, now because of the new one, it's wall to wall kind of counting. So my square footage has increased because of how they're, the new requirements after I've opened that have come about. It's went from it's went from 72 to 199. So even though I might not have 199 people in there, it's what is anticipated for the building. It's not what I'll actually have. So I don't have any choice in that. And Jason tried to work with me, Jason Schaefer, as best he could to try to whittle that down. But no matter how hard we tried to do that, it just couldn't get low enough, to put me at that. The rules read, 99 people, less than 5,000 square foot, or if it's over 99 people, it has to have the fire suppression. I was at, my building's at 3,200 square foot. So if I could have been at the 3,200 square foot and 99 people, I wouldn't have
Wouldn't
needed
have to.
it. But because I'm over the 99 people, it's required by the city for me to have it. So he really tried hard to work with me, you know, to get the number down, and we just couldn't get it down to where I didn't need the system, so here we are.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Yeah, very stressful.
I had a question.
Yes, sir.
This is a regular grant, correct?
Yes.
Is it
would
two
be un-
separate?
Well, there's two separate.
Okay,
What
okay.
she's requesting is,
Like the fire grant and then the also?
yes,
the
she wants to put in $21,146 towards facade improvement, which is the TP, if you know where it is, the
Yeah, I
TP
saw the
portion.
pictures. It's
And,
cracked.
exactly, the pictures. And that would be for facade, and of course, since it's 21,146,
Right.
she'd be eligible for the full reimbursement of $10,000 under that category. The second category is fire suppression equipment,
Right.
sometimes called fire safety. The total that she's got
60.
for the estimate was $64,950. Now, I talked to Jason, and he's still working, as is common, with the fire equipment company that's going to provide the service, and provided that. Yes, Pybate Barker. And if the, you know, the costs may go up, but it would not go down. It may go up
Okay,
a
I
little
see.
bit, but it would not go down. And she's already at the maximum.
Right.
That grant, if you recall, is a $25,000
Okay.
grant. And so, you know, she's well over 50,000.
Right. Okay. Thank you. Thank you for reminding me how much that grant was, because I didn't recall.
It's 25?
It's been a while
In
since we
my,
did one.
I've only seen that
25,
we've
yes,
done it
max.
twice, or excuse me,
Okay.
once, and that's with Club Mist. We did a fire suppression.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
Yeah.
So with
What is that?
the 64,950 is for the sprinkler system itself. I also have to install a fire alarm that's hitting me at 15,146 for the
Wow.
sprinkler system on top of that. So to say it's stressful
Yeah.
is. I
Understatement,
can't-
huh?
Yeah, it's been very stressful.
Well, did anyone on the board have any other questions? No.
It's just,
And if I may, for the board, while you're considering questions, again, and you might want to jot these down, it's 21,146 for facade, of which she'd be eligible for $10,000 reimbursement on our part. And the estimate came in at 64,950 for fire safety, of which we have the fire suppression grant, which the ceiling
25.
on that is 25,000. She'd be eligible for all that. That would bring her project total to $86,096, of which, if the board so chooses, we would reimburse 35,000 for both the facade and the fire.
So deducting what you're looking from us, what's your total investment out of your own pocket?
Well, minus the 25,000, it would be 39,000 out of my pocket just for the sprinkler part, and then 10,000, let's see, what was it?
11, you'd have 11.
So it was 11,146 for the TP part.
For
So,
everything? I mean,
for the
everything.
facade.
Plus
So-
15 for the alarm.
Yeah, and then I have to, that's also required for the fire suppression, but that's 15,146.54, I think is what the total was on that. So, all of that is out of my pocket, just minus the 10 and the possible 25.
so I have a question. I don't know if it's, the only reason why I'm asking is because I went to two different establishments, one in Lake Jackson and then one here in Freeport. I don't know if that's part of this whole thing, but they were saying something about the door where the exit is has to have a certain bar.
A crash
Did-
bar?
All I know is, I went to two businesses, and they were telling me about the same thing you're going through, and one of the things was the exit had to have a certain type of bar to open, and it was expensive. The bar itself was expensive. So I know
Yeah.
I just didn't know if that was something else that the fire marshal mentioned, because these individuals were saying they never, and I'm not saying it's here, well, maybe, but they were never told immediately that they needed that until they came back for another inspection and said, hey, you need this also.
So
I don't know,
far,
does anybody know anything about a bar that needs to be on the door exit?
I have not heard anything about
Okay.
it. As far as I know, I didn't read anything into that, you know, like Pi Barker put all of the exclusions, the things that would be required for it that they don't cover, and I don't remember reading that in any of
Okay.
the stuff that I read. And I think the only other kind of surprise that I'd be hit with would be the requirement for storage tanks, but after talking to Pi Barker, I don't think that's something that would be kind of snuck in and required
Right.
of me. It's more for way bigger buildings, like 10,000 square foot, where they would need higher water pressure and stuff, so. But I haven't heard anything about the bar.
Okay, maybe not.
Ronnie,
And-
I think that the number you were trying to find is 101,096. If she got nothing from us in total, the three numbers that she gave us.
I wanted to know her total investment,
Yeah.
what she's putting in,
Is a lot.
Plus,
what we're kicking in.
plus she already had the amount from the damages from Beryl, and they've done other remodeling stuff. I think you said that you had an SBA at 200,000
Yes,
that
and-
you've been putting into it as well.
Yeah, and so far, plumbing has went in, all brand new electrical, minus one bad, contractor who kind of dipped with some money. Yeah, it's been, I mean, we've pretty much went through, you know, the money pretty quick, and like I said, this has been kind of like, okay, this is a requirement, I have to shift money from here to there to try to get it done. Everything's been halted, they're like, you can't move forward until we figure this out, so.
Do you have insurance on that building?
No, but I will have insurance after. I can't get insurance on, I have fire insurance on it right now. That's the insurance that I have.
You didn't get anything for the storm?
No, I didn't get anything from the storm, and I can't even get insurance on it right now until the full remodel's done, so that they can go in and see what all's been done, what upgrades have been made, send their person through.
Okay, the money that you're having to put in, minus what we are going to help you with, if we do, have you sat down yourself with a pen and paper and calculated how many people you're gonna have in there every day for the next 50 years? I'm just kidding, I'm being facetious, but I shouldn't do that, but have you really sat down and looked for you to get back to breaking even? Because you're in the hole.
Yeah, I'm in the
Big
hole
time.
right now. Luckily, the SBA is giving me operating overhead to work with until I can get myself back into the green. And they have explained under no uncertain terms, is that money to be used for anything else other than that? I mean, we already had that discussion. She's like, these are for specific things, but, when I was open before, it was, I did pretty good business. I'm not trying to knock other businesses in Freeport that do the same thing I do, but I have had a pretty steady clientele since I've been open. I've been a really safe establishment. People feel safe in there. You know, I'm kind of like that home bar where everybody, I mean, I've had so many people that have blown my Facebook and everything up wondering when we're gonna reopen. I'm very hopeful to be back on my feet sooner rather than later, so, if that answers your question. But no, I haven't sat down like, you know, that's kind of really hard for me to do up until I open and kind of get back in the books as far as the business goes, but if I'm going from past experience with it, it's been a very positive business venture, I should say, you know, making money, so I don't expect there to be a problem with that at all.
I had something along similar lines. What was your reasonable expectation of opening and staying in business for that year that will be required?
Well, I've been in business since
I mean, but
2011.
with this thing, you have a year
Yeah.
from the time it's done.
I am fairly certain that I will be there.
I mean,
10
because,
more years.
because if you're not,
Yes.
then we want the money back. And
Yeah.
that would be a burden on you.
No,
That's the only reason for the question.
This is my livelihood, this is my job. I see myself doing this until I can't work. So, I don't see us closing or moving or doing anything like that, or that to be any kind of problem. I actually haven't even thought along those veins. Like, I've been very positive about getting open and getting back to normal and just moving forward. I have been open since 2011, and I don't see that changing, so.
I just want to add something real quick. On the, I guess it's the verification page that was filled out. There's the year missing. Can that be added, please? It's on page, I don't know if you want to call it page 13 or 46, but it has January 9th, but the year is missing.
Oh, yes.
Can
Yes,
that-
we will fix that.
Can you add the year, put that year in?
2024, yes.
Is it 2024 or 2025?
25, I'm
Oh,
sorry.
okay.
I'm sorry, my mistake. What year are we in?
We're not trying to go backwards. Okay, thank you.
I think with one of the papers I filled out for Pi Barker, I had to call him back because I did put 2024 on there, and I had to have him change it for me.
All right, do we have any other questions? No. Well, thank you for coming up and sharing with us and just, explaining to us your situation,
Yes.
and for hanging in there.
I know, well, that's all I can do, so.
Mhm.
Well, thank you.
Thank you. And so, would anybody like to make a motion? Because we've got the facade improvement grant for 10,000, and then the fire suppression grant. Our part for the facade would be 10,000, and our part for the fire suppression would be 25,000. And that's the max for each grant.
Do them separate?
Can we do them together?
Yes. yeah.
Okay. I make a motion to approve together the combination, 10,000 for the facade and then up to the 25,000 for the system suppression fire, so total up to 35,000 max.
I'll second that.
We have a motion to approve both the facade improvement grant for $10,000 and the fire suppression grant for $25,000 for Sit and Bull. Motion made by Ms. Loisa, seconded by Ronnie. Is there any debate or discussion? All right, seeing none, all those in favor state aye. Aye. All opposed state nay. Motion passed unanimously. And we will go ahead and move on to, let me scroll back up. You're welcome.
Thank you.
All right, let's see, number 5. Discuss the U.S. beneficial ownership information register, oh, sorry.
Mr. President, excuse me.
Oh, no.
Both Lance and Rachel found the estimate.
Oh,
So we
okay.
have it. I can read it to you, or if anybody wants to look at it, I can text it to everybody. Okay. I'll
Yeah,
read
you
it.
can just read it.
Okay, it's from Land and Trees, and it is the scope, well, it's for the 2 trees. He said the description, remove 2 fallen trees on property, grind stump below ground level, dig out uprooted stump, clean up and haul off debris. And for that scope of work, his estimate is $3,700.
So is there a reason why he didn't do exactly, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, I
I'm
was
sorry.
just wondering what the place is called.
Well, is there a reason why he didn't give us exactly the same scope as the other one? I mean, or did I miss that?
He only does trees. This is somebody
Oh.
that I had met with before we
Oh,
were
okay.
actively
Got you.
talking. Yeah, and Lance directed me to him on reasonable prices for removing trees. But he doesn't, I asked him, and he does not do other kinds of cleanup. He's just a tree guy.
Okay. So that other estimate, and I know I wasn't here on the last meeting, I don't know if y'all discussed it, but at the other one, I don't know what page it's on, but it's the other businesses at ease services, so it looks like it's pretty much just the scope, the true scope, and it's only 3,500. Am I looking at that wrong?
There's a second trees, it's 15.
There's another, it's not both trees? Oh, it's just one tree?
Right.
Oh, okay, got you.
Miss Sandra?
Yes.
For at ease, just one location, which was the 10, let me see. It's 1,500, but it's for 10 Ash Street, and that was just one property.
Oh, one property.
And then 301 West Brazos had 3,500, and it was just that property, so.
Oh, so it's actually more, okay.
Yeah.
Got you. Thank you.
I'd still like to wait and see if we can't find somebody come in a little better. Since it's not that much of an emergency as it once was.
You mean wait for, like additional bids?
I guess. Yes.
Okay. Anybody else have any input there?
We would need to publicize that, though, to get
Yes.
more bids. We couldn't just sit on it and wait.
Right.
Yes, and we've reached out to people. I would say that, I'm not disputing what David's saying, but I would be cognizant of the fact that we're in the dormant season right now, and also we're working with code enforcement to forestall that tree, you know, and the last I gave him an update, I told him we'd be looking
Oh,
at
I
the
see.
matter at this meeting. But that, I mean, again,
Right.
I can go back and re-explain and say they tabled it for another month, but.
Yeah, that's not a problem. Okay. If Landon Trees can do the 2 trees for 3,700, in my mind, that's our best deal. The Western Seafood requires a whole lot of work. And, Mr. Gardner's, bid on that includes part of the regular maintenance that, Joe is doing now on the fences. He has sprayed the fences once, maybe twice already. And so we don't really need all that extra overlapping work there. So if it's just about the trees, let Landon take them out of there.
So you're saying the other work that they're listing is being done like
Well,
in
part of
advance?
it.
Oh, I see, okay. Mhm.
You know, cleaning up the brush piles and everything, they're supposed to already be doing that on the seafood property.
Oh, I see.
And the fence line, they're supposed to already be maintaining the fence line on the
Right.
Western Seafood property. And if they haven't done so yet, we need to make sure we get with them and let them know that that is part of their contract already.
Okay, okay. Yeah, thank you for pointing that out.
Just to clarify, we're still not, are we doing a motion tonight, or are we gonna,
I don't know.
We
that's-
haven't
okay.
come to an agreement yet. Robert, so it's not urgent as in red alert, but it's something that you said code enforcement, definitely wants completed or,
What happened was, Bob Kramer, our, I don't know what Bob's title is, but he goes around and makes sure all the, everything's cleaned up and lawns, had come and he had issued a citation, and then the lieutenant who's over him and I had a meeting and said, they, on one hand, the city, people look at the city to say, hey, why isn't, the first thing when they get a citation, why isn't their lawn cleaned up or whatever? But I also told them about, we're gonna have this dormant season, we're gonna be cleaning up, et cetera. And we both thought, we can tamper down the issuing citations and things like that. They actually sent it certified mail. And so, I told him our timeline, and he said that's fine. And then, he knew you know, I've been providing him with updates that tonight we'd be considering the matter. Now, I can go back to him and say, hey, the board decided to table this issue, and wait till next month. I don't, you know, I don't think he's gonna issue us a
Yeah.
ticket, but, you know, again, it's kind of a city-to-city
Right.
relationship here where we're trying to work together.
I mean, if we could get it done sooner, I mean, it doesn't matter who does it, correct? Just that it gets done.
Just that it gets done.
In your professional opinion, would you think just doing the trees or the more broad scope of work would be most effective?
Well, I mean, in getting the problem that we have off would be the trees, but I like the idea of just getting this done during the dormant season. But, you know, I'll say this, I've always listened to David with when we talk about properties and all
Right.
that. I mean, he walks our properties.
Yeah.
So do I, but he's walked it for a lot longer. So I don't want to be seen as discrediting the
no.
point that he's making. I'm just saying that I would prefer that we act to get that tree out of the way so that we're not any way at odds with the city. Would be my professional opinion. And I do like just knocking it all out at once. I think we got a reasonable bid from Gardner that was less than the one that we received last month, which I did think was high. And then Lance helped me understand exactly how high, much higher it was. But again, that's the pleasure of the board. If you just want, you know, what I'm asking is, I don't want to be at odds with the city, and they've
Right.
shown certainly shown a spirit of cooperation in letting us slide for a few months. And I would rather not drag the matter out.
So if we just do the trees, we're saving $1,300, because it's 37, right? Yeah, is it worth it to just do the trees? To do it all, you think? I guess that's what we're supposed to figure out, huh?
I mean, I think we're good with going ahead. I mean, that's my opinion with Campbell and just getting it all done for the 5,000.
Yeah, I mean, I'm okay with that. I don't have an issue with
And that will include the tree, right?
Two
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
them.
Yeah.
It's two of them.
everything but the tree.
Well, it's actually
Can we-
two trees, right?
Can we
That's what it
modify
says.
that to not include the fence line? Because he's got the fence line in there, and that is definitely Joe's.
Yeah, I like that idea
Part
of
of the deal.
taking out the work that would overlap that David mentioned.
Oh, yes.
Our normal cutting, right,
Right.
lawn
Yeah, the
service.
regular maintenance. Right. So can we make that a motion?
Well, I make a motion to accept the bid proposal for, from Campbell of the 5,000.
Thank you. We have a motion. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
All right. Motion by Ms. Loesa, seconded by Ken. Any debate or discussion? All right. Seeing none, all those in favor state aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed state nay.
Nay.
Motion passed, 4-1. Let's go ahead and move on to number 6.
Yes, Mr. President, the U.S. Department of Treasury, this hasn't been very publicized, but they had introduced this program, the U.S. Beneficial Ownership Information Registry, and they're accepting, from what I understand, all businesses, there are a few exceptions, have to register. And it's by the Department of the Treasury. It's being done, in my estimation, to diminish financial crime. And Ronnie had brought this to my attention that hey, this date is coming up. and we started to get the word out. But then in between the time that Ronnie and I first started talking about it and getting the word out, there was a lawsuit filed in Texas, which does not surprise me whatsoever, that is the small well, there's a couple of them. One of them is the Small Business Association of Michigan versus Yellen, et cetera. And it's in the District Court of the Western District of Michigan. There's also one in Texas that kind of kicked it all off. So I say all that to say this program, the Treasury Department, as they say, the government continues to believe that this program is consistent with the orders issued by the U.S. District Courts in the District of Oregon, in that the program is constitutional, but currently it's on hold. So there's not the pressing need. The deadline was going to be December 31st, and so we were getting the word out. But once this clears the courts, we may or may not, depending on what the decision of the court is, have to go back to this. And it's just basically encouraging and helping the businesses in Freeport to get registered for this program. Ronnie, I don't know if you want to add anything.
It's really simple. I mean, my business has already done it, because why wait? I mean, if the Treasury Department wins, you're gonna have to do it anyway. And you can go online and just do it at the Treasury Department. You don't have to hire nobody. It's just real simple. I know people are advertising right now to charge $175 to do it. It's free. And we probably ought to let our businesses locally know that it doesn't cost you a penny. You don't need any help.
Right.
All you're doing, it's to stop people from laundering money.
Right.
That's all it's about.
So there's
Sounds
no
good.
action. We just wanted to
just
update the
discussion.
board, and we have been reacting to that. We've been getting the word out on our social media, and also they're welcome to call the off. And Ronnie's absolutely correct. It's not very difficult. But as I had a hunch, there's a lot of people that are, they don't want the government in their business, and I'm not giving my address, even though they've already got it. But so it's in court for now. So
Okay.
the deadline has been extended. And it's indefinite as to what happens in the court. But I just, we put it on here, we kind of got the, sounded the alarm bells that, hey, this date is coming up, and then, like I said, it got paused.
Thanks for letting us know. And then let's go ahead and move on to number 6, discuss and take possible action on the MLK parade. Ms. Marshall brought that up. I guess that depends on if we have the time commitment, the individual time commitment. Yes, David?
I spoke with Ms. Shonda earlier today, and she apologized for not being here. She sounded pretty bad. She's ill. But we did discuss the parade, and given the weather conditions, she felt it probably would not be a good thing for us.
Yeah, I was kind of feeling that way, because just even last year, the weather,
Right.
It's that time of year. Okay. Yeah. I think it's supposed to be again, right? Oh, you have, yeah. Well, good luck. Okay, that takes us to
Mr. President,
oh,
before-
sorry.
before
Yeah, go
we
ahead.
Move on with relation to Martin Luther King celebration. Lance provided 4 tickets for a banquet, a commemorative event. It's the Martin Luther King Jr. Celebration Committee of Brazoria County. They're going to have a commemorative banquet on Saturday, January 18th. This is this Saturday at 6 p.m. at the Dow Academic Center at Brazosport College. And I've got 4 tickets. I know, Lance, that some of the city council are going to go there. Is that correct?
Council, some BOA members, city staff will be there. We got 2 tables, that's reserved for 20 people, so, and we have those tickets remaining, if any of y'all want to go to it.
Right.
All right, thank you.
So please see me if you'd like a ticket so you can attend.
Okay. Thanks. All right, that takes to our board and executive director comments. Ronnie, can you start us off, please?
No comment.
All right, thank you. David?
I'm good.
Thanks. Ken? Okay. Good. Okay. Thanks those of you that may be watching online, and Mr. Johnson?
Yes, Mr. President, I've got a few things. The 2.5 Sisters, we were working with them. They had just opened and the location, but we were getting ready to work with them on a promotional thing to try and promote the restaurant and where it is. Unfortunately, they closed before we could even, get the first thing out. But it was a waffles and potato, kind of a weird combination, but it the people that went there said it was good, and so they closed, so we won't be doing that endeavor. I'd like to remind the board that the business development breakfast will be held on February 13th from 8 a.m. to 9 p.m. at Ann's Party Place. What did I say? Okay, 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. I'm sorry if I said p.m. Yeah, it's going to be all
13
day.
hours.
8 a.m. to 9 a.m. at Ann's Party Place. Business owners and businesses, et cetera, are invited to attend. And, again, this is part of our business retention and recruitment program of helping businesses to do better business, providing them with resources, education, et cetera. Sugar and Spice Learning Center came and visited with us. It's a youth care, and they came about marketing and promotions. We also talked to them about the grant. So we're going to try and develop a promotional program for them to get the word out that they're here and they've got openings, and a lot of child care places don't have any openings. So we've got one in the community, and they just want some help getting the word out. We had an intern, if you recall, scheduled for January. Unfortunately, that intern, I don't know why, but Human Resources informed me that they had to cancel. However, we still will have the intern in April. ICSC Red River will be happening January 29th through the 30th. I've been working with Retail Strategies to prepare for that. We've currently got a list of attendees. I'm trying to do it in a targeted way. The first time I went to it, I always kind of joked that it was a lot like there's all these kissing booths, and you go up there and you've got a line of people behind you and you're trying to, so I've been working with Retail Strategies #1 on updating our demographics, and also contacting people that we want to reach out to, getting a zip code study from the Alliance, our partners at the Alliance, and just getting ready to attend that. That's January 29th through 31st. And then pre-meeting, we were talking about the Las Vegas trip. We didn't go last year, but we're kind of looking at doing the same this year. It'll be in May, sending a contingent out there. That's the real rubber hits the road one. So we'll continue to talk about that, just speaking of ICSC. Much to everybody's great delight, as you probably all know, Arlen's reopened. The reopening was December 18th. It's really fabulous in there. Both Lance, myself, we were in constant contact. Whatever they needed, they were very, Adnan Ali is very appreciative of the grants that he received for assistance. So we're happy to see them open. We've gotten a few calls from the community to discuss, to ask if they're hiring and how to get in touch with their main office, and we've provided that information. And also, we've got a call set up with Adnan just to discuss where he is as far as the rest of the building and fixing and all that kind of stuff. In the early stages here, we've been working with Wade, and also discussing it, and this is just all very early stages on wayfinding for the city and getting people. One of the things that was in the report and that Wade has emphasized and I have emphasized and Lance is emphasizing is we definitely need wayfinding. And then through that, we've also said, should we, and again, none of this is decided, as preliminary discussions, but should we take that further, and is there any marketing that we can do for the community? I know Angleton just had a huge program where they remarketed and rebranded. Of course, that's greater expense. So again, this is all in discussion phases, but certainly we'd like to accomplish wayfinding in the near future. Brent Bowles, I think everybody knows, and I think I kind of briefed the board, had a dispute with one of the council members and pulled his services from the city until he receives an apology or a retraction of some things that he feels were slanderous. And he is not working with the city right now. And I reached out to him because, of course, we've got the Parks project that's in cooperation with the city. And I reached out to him and I said, well, technically, we're not the city. And so Brent is willing to talk to me about perhaps moving forward. And, you know, again, I just have to have a discussion with him. He's at least willing to entertain the idea and see if we can at least get our you know, since we're not officially the city, get the Parks program back on track. So that I will have a conversation with him later this week. That's it.
All right, thank you. That takes us to our executive session. It is now 7:04 p.m., and I hereby recess the regular session of the Freeport Economic Development Corporation meeting and do hereby convene into executive session in compliance with the Texas Government Code, Section 551.071, consultation with attorney, 551.087.